Welcome to all the students who are participating in this webinar to know more about Durham University. My name is Cristian Ochoa. I'm part of the academic counseling team of Col Futuro. Today is with us Kate Brennan, who is an international recruitment manager of Durham University. And she's going to be talking about the postgraduate programs and the agreement that this university has with Col Futuro. Talking about the agreement, Durham University offers 100 scholarship to one beneficiary of Col Futuro and 20% scholarship in the tuition fee to all the rest of the beneficiaries. This agreement doesn't apply to the students that are going to the MBA program. So welcome, Kate, for being with us today in Col Futuro. The students are online right now and they would like to listen to all the great information that you have for them. Before you start, I want to let them know that they can write down all the questions that they have, and at the end we're going to have some time to answer to them.
Okay, thank you for the great introduction. I'm going to speak about study at Durham University in the United Kingdom. So first of all, I'd like to start with a picture of our city. So this is the center of the city. It's a very historic place. So the cathedral is the main building that you can see within the picture. And it's kind of wrapped around by a river, and we have beautiful kind of green areas and countryside. So it's quite a small place in England. We have a general population of around 50,000 people, and around 18,000 of those are students that are with us. So the castle and cathedral that you can see in this photograph, they are our UNESCO World Heritage Site as well. So this is a very important part of the kind of environment that you would be part of at Durham University. It's something that a lot of our students who come even just to visit will love about it. It's a very kind of typical traditional English experience to be part of the city and to kind of walk around a lot of the streets that have cobbled pathways, and a lot of beautiful architecture, as you can see here. So in terms of our location, we are in the northeast of England. So we're 2.5 to 3 hours by train from London, and around an hour and a half from Edinburgh in Scotland. The nearest international airport for us is Newcastle, which is around 40 minutes away, and can connect with lots of different airlines to different places around the world. So I flew here from Newcastle via Amsterdam straight into Bogota, and there are many different airlines that operate from the international airport. So we're very well connected. As you saw from the previous image, we're quite a green city, but we're also very safe. A lot of our students like to live within the northeast of England because there are not huge amounts of people there. It does feel very busy when all of the students are in town, but there are lots of places where you can get to beautiful countryside and beaches and have a lot of space to yourself. We are a UNESCO World Heritage City, and this is very important to us in terms of the heritage of the place that we come from, but also in terms of the experience for our students. So the castle is actually one of our most famous colleges, and the cathedral is the place where we will matriculate students, where we welcome them into their degree programs, and also where they graduate at the end of their degree courses. So it's a very kind of Hogwarts experience, and a really beautiful environment to study your degree in. So here are some of our key facts. We were established in 1832, so we're the third oldest university in England. We are going to have a population of over 18,000 students this year. We are just enrolling our latest lot of students this month, and they will come to us for the 1st of October. Of those students, 25% are international, so they come from 156 different countries around the world, and many outside of the European Union. In terms of Colombia, we currently have 8 students, but we are seeing the interest double and a lot of the enrollments doubling for students from Latin America. We have some very strong collaborative links. So 2 of the Colombian institutions that we have partnerships with are Los Andes and National University of Colombia. We're also a member of the Russell Group, which makes us very strong in research. And not only the research side of our university, but also the teaching side has won awards, including the TEF Gold, which is the highest possible accolade in student outcomes framework and the teaching excellence framework. We have a unique collegiate system. So we have 16 and about to be 17 colleges that our students will live in. This provides them with a community which is smaller than the overall Durham community, so they will have a belonging and certainly a membership to those colleges the whole time that they are studying their degree course, but also after, as an alumni, they can come back and be involved in the network with their college as well. For rankings, we get a lot of questions about this, and certainly this will be important for anyone who is applying for Col Futuro. We are a world top 100 university in the QS World Rankings in 2020. Over 90% of our subjects are also ranked in the top 10 nationally with Complete University Guide. Currently, we have English and music ranked first in the UK. And globally, we have arts and humanities programs that are ranked 30th in the world, and social sciences and law ranked in the top 50 in the world with THE. We also have 18 subjects in the Subject World Rankings in QS, ranked in the top 100. So we are very strong institutionally overall in national and international rankings, but we're also very strong in our subject rankings as well. If you do have any questions about those, we can let you know about any of the specific subjects that you're interested in. And these are all of the subject areas that we provide undergraduate and postgraduate programs in. We are very famous for our business school and our law school, but increasingly students are coming to us for science subjects, including engineering and computer sciences. And our arts and humanities programs, as I said before, are ranked very highly in the world rankings as well. So whatever you're hoping to study, if we have a program in the subject area, you can definitely feel assured that those programs will be the highest quality that you can find in the UK. I mentioned that colleges were very important to us, so the college system is something that makes Durham quite different from a lot of other universities. The one that you can see on the screen at the moment is University College, that's its formal name, but our students like to just call it Castle. It is part of Durham Castle. And this is where not only undergraduate students but our postgraduate students can make an application to live within the castle. So we have a certain number of beds available and fully catered accommodation as well. This is just one of our 17 colleges. If you don't want somewhere that's traditional and you would like somewhere much more modern, then we can provide that, including self-catering kitchen facilities and also ensuite bathrooms. And just to give you an idea of what is included in college accommodation, there is a full student study bedroom with a bed, desk and storage spaces, including wardrobe. And then the second picture at the top is the kitchen facilities that a lot of the postgraduate students like to cook for themselves, and they will have those in Euston College, which is our postgraduate only college. If you do prefer to have catering done for you and to be cooked for, we have dining halls that you can go to for your dining options. And in the top right-hand corner, it shows you one of the dining halls, and in the bottom middle photograph, some of the quite healthy food there that we do provide for our students. If you have dietary requirements, our chefs are able to deal with a lot of those within the colleges. You'll also be able to see a very festive celebration that's taking place at the bottom left-hand side. And that is where a lot of our international students will stay for Christmas celebrations if they're not able to go home, and we will host them a big celebration in Castle, and everyone, no matter which college you come from, will be invited to dine together there for a traditional meal. So we offer a variety of catered and self-catered colleges, and we are building a new 17th college, which is represented by the image in the bottom right-hand corner. And this will house over 1,000 students and will be fully en suite. For the admissions entry requirements for Columbia for 2020, you can see on the right-hand side our postgraduate entry requirements. Just to flag up for anyone who is interested in studying an MBA, we don't allow freshers MBA at Durham. We do have to have candidates with at least 3 years of management experience. So we do have quite experienced students who will be part of those cohorts, and to ensure that the quality not only of the course but also of the classroom discussions and what the students will get from that, we have to have students who have line managed and had strategic experience within their businesses. We look for usually 4 or more years of study at undergraduate level, and the GPA is given there. In some instances, we will also look at work experience for students, and we do that in sciences a lot of the time. For PhD candidates, we require the master's degree, and we will need to see a relevant subject from a prestigious institution, so usually one that is listed as a university within Columbia. We do ask for IELTS, usually for our courses. Grades will be dependent for the GPA and also for the IELTS level based on what you're applying for. So law, for example, is quite a lot higher in terms of English language. We will ask for a 7 overall for that, for example. But you can always get in touch with us for any individual enquiries about your specific subject, and we will be able to let you know exactly what the GPA and IELTS will be for that. Student support is something that's very important to us at Durham. So in addition to the support that colleges offer, we also have a wide range of professional services that we provide. So I am part of the international office that will travel to your country and will do information sessions, but we will also help you when you arrive in the UK as well. We have careers guidance. We have a fantastic careers and enterprise centre, And we do careers and internship fairs each year. We usually host 3 to 4 major careers events during the year, and we encourage all of the students to go along to those and meet members of industry and speak to people about work applications. We have a healthcare centre and GP services, so you will usually have to pay an NHS, which is our National Health Service, surcharge as part of your visa, and you will then be covered by all of our healthcare within the UK. We have disability services for any students who need extra support. We've got an immigration team who work quite tirelessly with students to make sure that everything in terms of their visas and biometrics and different things like that go smoothly. We also have counselling, student finance and in-sessional English language support. We have an international welcome service organised by the colleges that will be able to pick you up at Newcastle International Airport or the main train station that we have in Durham, and they will take you to your accommodation. Some of the new developments that we have at Durham, we've invested quite a lot of money in facilities for students. So we have £35 million worth of new sporting facilities that are being built now. In the bottom image is the Centre for Teaching and Learning, which is opening this month for new students coming in to Durham. And that will have interactive teaching labs and lots of places that we can connect with other universities around the world. In the top picture is the new computer science and maths building, which will be ready this time next year, so September 2020. And we will also have a new business school the year after that. So there are lots of really exciting developments at Durham and lots of investment to make sure that we are keeping up to speed with all of the latest teaching and learning and all of the facilities that you could need as a student at Durham. I'd like to speak to you a little bit about the Faculty of Science, so that will be the next part of the presentation for any students who are interested in science subjects, any STEM subjects. This is one of our physics buildings, one of the institutes for research in physics and particle phenomenology. So we do a lot of work and attract a lot of PhD students specifically in this area. But also in terms of the whole of the Faculty of Science, we teach and research in interdisciplinary teams. So a lot of our research in science will pull people from different areas to look at global problems and the solutions that we can have to help communities around the world. We are also joint first in the UK for our research impact, and that was part of the Research Excellence Framework in 2014. We have a Research Excellence Framework coming up in 2021, and we hope to build on all of the extensive research that we do currently. We are currently world leading and internationally excellent in our research in terms of the REF. And we really would like to get more of our subject areas and more of our publications into that internationally excellent world-leading bracket. And that gives us a really excellent reputation, not only with students, but also with the industry that we link up with. So our reputation with employers is very important to us, because it's never just a degree that you will have if you come to Durham. It will be links and networks, and we will link you with a lot of industrial tutors and companies after your study. So our alumni are very important to us, and we will continue to work with them. Even 20, 30 years after they graduate, they will come back and continue to work with us in our network. We have a diverse and expanding international student population, and also our academic staff will come from lots of different areas from around the world. So in our 8 departments, we have huge amounts of work, research, and teaching that is happening. And we have something called research-led teaching, which means that all of the academic research that the professors do will go back into all of the programs that we teach at Durham. Those are supplemented by the 25 research institutes and centres that we have that help us to be the best in the subject areas in science that we can be. So just a few slides on why engineering and other subjects at Durham. So the things that I think make engineering really exciting at Durham are how varied the learning is. So not only for undergraduate students, but also for our postgraduate students. We have lectures, problem classes, lab work, as well as designs, industrial projects and field trips. And I will come on to talking about the different industry that we link up with in a later slide. We also have fully accredited degrees, so they are all recognised by all of the UK engineering bodies. And we have a very strong focus on our strategic partnerships with industrial organisations. So this allows us to have very good prospects for our students. 96% of them will go into graduate level careers or further study after their degree with us. And what we have started to see in the 5 years after Durham graduates in engineering go into industry, they often become the leaders and managers within their engineering firms. And this is due to the general knowledge and also specialised knowledge that we have in Durham. So all of the engineers from the different areas will work together and allow students to see how projects work in the field, so the things that they will do in their careers. So this is a little bit about the industry. As I said before, 96% of Durham engineering graduates are in graduate level paid employment or further study 6 months after graduation. And this is because we work very hard on all of our partnerships. So we have something called an industrial partnership committee and industrial tutors and seminars that take place. Some of the big names that you may know at the bottom are BP, Rolls-Royce, Ørsted, who are the biggest wind energy provider in the world, and BAE Systems. So a very big variety of different companies, and we actually have around 25 to 35 different companies that we work with each year. So there's a lot for every engineering student, no matter which subject area they want to go into, whether it's mechanical or civil or new and renewable energy. So that's all there for them. In terms of why you should look at computer science in Durham, we have very innovative courses. So we look at artificial intelligence, computer vision, and high-performance computing. We have a very popular, two new actually very popular degrees in scientific computing and data analysis, and also in business analytics. So those are paired together with the business school and also with physics and mathematical science. We also have an advisory board of high-profile pioneers that sit from the tech industry, who will lead us in all of the latest trends. Computer science is an area that moves very fast, and we have to be able to do a lot of new things within those areas and keep up with all of the latest things within industry as well, so that we are teaching students and doing research in the areas that are the latest exciting kind of things to learn in computer science. And then finally, mathematical sciences. We're very strong in two different areas. So pure maths, which is the algebra, geometry and topology, and then also the applied and computational mathematics. Because we are very strong in both areas, this can open doors into a range of different careers for you. So a lot of our math students will go into finance, And also, we've had some very successful projects, such as statistical modelling for data for digital marketing, with a media group who we did a collaboration with. And our students will get involved in industry projects like that each year. And as I said before, we have a master's degree in collaboration with physics and computer science, which again shows the interdisciplinary experience that the science students can have at Durham. So those are my contact details if you would like to get in touch with me at any point. But just to emphasize that we do have a partnership with Colfuturo now, and we do have one full 100% scholarship with them, and then 20% discount for all other students. That's not covered for anyone applying for an MBA, but for every other subject it is. And we would love to hear from you and to get applications from any students in any of the subject areas that I showed before. If you'd like to go to our website for more information, our partnership will be on there in the next week. And all of the information about our different departments will be there, and also how to apply to any of the subjects that you're interested in. So that's everything. And if there are any questions that have come through from students, we can take those.
Would you like to remind them about the agreement that Durham and Colfuturo have a little bit?
Yep. Can I grab just to read? Yep, so the agreement that we have is 100% scholarship to one of the beneficiaries of Colfuturo funding, and 20% scholarship for the tuition fee to all other beneficiaries of Colfuturo. It doesn't apply to MBA programs, but everything else is covered in that. And we're very pleased to have the partnership with Colfuturo.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kate, for all the information about Durham University. So we have some questions from the students. So the first one, is there a minimum GPA score that they need to apply to a postgraduate program in Durham?
So that will vary based on the subject that they are applying to. So we would need to look at the specific subject, but it is usually around a 4.0 GPA. We will also look at some work experience and also which institutions they come from, because we have 2 partners currently, and maybe looking at expanding that more in the future as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Another question from Diego is, exists the possibility that the Master of Science in New and Renewable Energy give an economic remuneration to the students for research?
At Durham?
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a lot of links with industry where they give some funding for students, and we also have the ability for some of our postgraduate students to teach undergraduate students, so lab work that they can help with in order to get some money in those areas. But also one of the things that does happen with a lot of our taught master's programs, which are 1 year, is if those students are doing very well and progressing very well, they can get a fully funded PhD place as well.
Okay, thank you so much. How do you choose the person that will get the 100% scholarship?
We are going to be working on that, so we will have an internal process, but we will have to look at academic grades, the university that the student comes from, and the subject that they are applying to. So it will be a fair and transparent process, obviously, but we may need to wait for other scholarships to have ended as well, because Chevening, for example, will be offering fully funded scholarships as well. So we might need to know those lists first. but we will let all of the students know when that will be happening.
Okay. Another student is asking about the GPA, but he's referring to the GPA needed for the master in new and renewable energy. Do you know the score that they need?
I will definitely check that, and if they want to send me an email, then I will definitely get in touch with them about engineering.
Perfect. Another question is, how can they contact the immigration team?
So the enquiries at Durham would initially go through study@durham.ac.uk. That's our main enquiries line. But if they do have any immigration questions that they maybe just want to know about new post-study work visas or things like that, then there will be information going up on the website soon, because there are some changes to immigration recently.
And Kate, another question is, what labs have the master in new and renewable energy? Like, what kind of labs? You talk a little bit about them?
Yeah, so we have two different kind of streams for new and renewable energy. The first one is quite mechanical based, so they will use all of the light mechanical and other areas for mechanical lab work. And then the other side of it is the electrical side of new and renewable energy. So new and renewable energy actually covers many different areas. So it can also be civil, because one of our academics actually showed me how many people are needed to make a wind energy project work. And it's every different type of engineering that is needed. So civil, for example, would be needed in offshore wind to enable the turbines to be put into the seabed. And then electrical is needed to allow the data to kind of be passed to the mainland so that they can know how the turbine is working. Then mechanical, we look at the actual structure of the turbine. I can't think of the word now. I'm not an engineer, sorry. The kind of blades that the turbine has on them. So there are lots of different areas of new and renewable energy, and I think that's one of the things that makes it a really interesting course, because you will speak to people in your project team who will work on different elements of that. So there are lots of different lab work, and I can't say that any one lab is used. It's more that all of them can be used by those students.
Okay. Another question is, does the full scholarship cover living expenses, or is it just for the tuition fee?
So for the, I think it's $50,000, the Cofuturo funding. So that would definitely, if you look at the UK expenses versus somewhere like the US, you will need to have 2 years of funding for the US, whereas we only have 1 year postgraduate taught programs. So our 1 year postgraduate taught programs will usually cover tuition fees and at least half of the living expenses, if not all of them. So the Cofuturo funding is actually quite significant for that. And so the 100% scholarship will definitely cover all of the tuition fees, and then any Cofuturo loan scholarship will be able to cover the living expenses.
Yeah, excellent explanation. As Kate said, like the 100% that they offer is in the tuition fee, but you can use the loan with Colfuturo to cover the other expenses and anything related to your studies.
Yeah.
Another question is, do you know other way to get money in the university to pay the tuition fees? Or do the students work in your university?
So is this if you don't get Cofuturo funding?
No, like let's say that they get Colfuturo, but they want to make some extra money while they are studying at Durham.
Yeah. So our Careers and Enterprise Centre that I mentioned before will also do all of the kind of part-time work, and within your visa you're allowed to do up to 20 hours, I think it still is, in the UK, and that will more than enough kind of fund that. But what we like to do, because we have colleges and the students will be in the college, if they're self-catered, they usually will kind of cook together. We also have international, really nice kind of student societies nights where they bring along some food and they all eat together, or we'll kind of put different events on. So there will always be something that they can get involved in. So a lot of their social activities will be around the colleges. And I don't see our students doing massive amounts outside of that because they don't need to. But a little bit of part-time work will allow them to do anything else that they need. But the Culfutura funding is actually a really good deal. So I was very surprised to see that type of funding. And also we have 20, even if you get the 20% off, that's a really good amount. And there are different criteria for when you come back to the country, how you can get more discounts. And I think it's a fantastic kind of loan system. So I kind of would ask anyone to look more into Culfutura, because I think the deal that they can kind of get from that is actually really fantastic. So
Perfect. And the last question that they have here for the MBA program, do you ask for the GRE exam, or what other additional exams do you ask for?
So for the MBA, I need to check for the current cycle and what they will be asking for, because sometimes they do ask for extra examinations for some of our business subjects and also law. So we will publish them on the website, and we can also send the information out to any students who inquire today. Because we've just set the criteria, I don't want to give you 2019 criteria just in case that has changed. But I will check that and be able to get back to any students. If they want to send on the email address or pick up my email, then I'm happy to get in touch with them and give them individual advice.
Okay, there's another question that a person that wants to know if he or she is applying to a PhD program, can this person apply for the 100% scholarship, or would that person have to apply to the DDS scheme? Do you have in mind what is the DDS
Yeah,
scheme?
we know the DDS scheme, so they can apply. Obviously, our students can apply to any of the funding that is available for PhDs. And I'm not sure whether I think the 100% would relate to everyone, so any postgraduate study. So they can definitely apply through the Culfutura scheme as well. We do sometimes have a certain amount of funding in our departments for PhD. So it just depends on the individual department and each year what kind of grants they're giving, and whether they are available to, which students they're available to. So sometimes it would be home or EU students, sometimes it will be international only. So if they get in touch with a supervisor that they think is in their area of study, and they have to do that first before they make an application to have that conversation. They can also ask about any funding within the department as well.
Okay, I think that's all the questions that they have by now. I want to remind you guys that there are two talks that we do here in Culfutura. One is about Programa Crédito Beca, that is the funding program that we have. And the other one is about the language department. The first one, that is the Programa Crédito Beca, is the first Friday of every month at 8 a.m. and the second Saturday of every month at 9:30 a.m. And the talk about languages is the second Saturday of every month at 11 and the last Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. Kate, thank you so much for your time and for all the information. It was very, very complete.
Thank you.
And I want to thank also to all the students that joined the webinar today. And I want to remind you that this webinar has been recorded and is going to be sent to you as soon as possible. And have an excellent day. Sorry.
So
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
I just
Sure.
so we're going to be here in Bogota for the next week, actually, and next week as well. And we have some one-to-one sessions if any student wants to come and see me on the 20th of September, and that's at SIUK offices. And is it Calais 106?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. And you can book with my with my email. Yeah, that's probably the best. And then also British Council exhibition is happening at the Grand Hyatt Hotel on the 28th of September from 10:30 to 6 p.m. So it would be great to see some students there.
Perfect. So we're gonna post here their email address so they can
Yes.
probably text you, write to you if they have any questions or if they want to join the talks and what you have for them.
Great.
Thank you so much, Kate.
Thank you very much.